Okay, we're here like normal. No airflow. No fans going. Pipes don't feel cold. Well, it feel a little cold, but not very cold. Doesn't feel good. This one has a CDS valve in it. Nothing. Alright, so I'm doing things a little bit differently than I normally do things because this is a different kind of vendor with different type of systems, and I kind of know what their system is, and we'll just go through it anyway. But we got 98 PSI on the suction, which leads me to believe that CDS valve is not working. So let's keep moving forward. Okay, so we're up here and we're looking at those cases, right? A01, A002. Those cases are running warm. So we're gonna go on this Emerson controller. So we're gonna go to circuits, click on there, pop up in there. Okay, I'll make this a little bit wider for you. We're gonna look over here, we're gonna click on the case, and we're gonna look over here, EPR, 100%. Okay, back up. Gonna go down, enter. And this is solenoid on. Okay. Well, for me that's really weird that these are saying the solenoid is activated, the EPR is on, you know, and basically it's getting refrigeration, but then our pressure is really high. So I'm gonna go take a look at those other cases. Then I'm gonna go on the roof and we're gonna look at the condensers. Look at this is the A1, and we look at right here. It's at 80. So this is hooked up to the suction side. So that one does look frosty, so it looks like maybe it is feeding. I'm not entirely sure. It's kind of strange. The only reason why I'm thinking it could be a control issue is because we just had a power outage. Maybe there's a surge or something. But we're gonna go up on the roof and check the condenser. This is another reason I was kind of thinking it might be a controller issue or a board issue, is because these units appear to be running. So you might say to me, why are you wasting your time? Because if you get caught up with assumptions, oh, I assume that this is working right just because the compressor's going, or I assume blah, 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 or whatever, I'm telling you, you'll run into issue after issue after issue. You just can't assume. Like, you've got to make sure your system's working right. Even if you're like, oh, my gut tells me I think it's the board. Okay, that's fine. Check everything else and then go with your gut at that point. But, like, you can't skip the fundamental just because you got some feeling or something. At least this is my opinion. Sorry, I guess I'm ranting here, but you know, stick with the fundamentals. You know, check your pressures. You know, check your pressures. Do what you gotta do. There'll be plenty of time if you make this a career. There'll be plenty of time over the course of your career to, you know, make all the fancy. He found that the left side of the quadrant of the board was no good and blah blah blah. Like, you have plenty of time in your career to make those fancy finds. Just 9 times out of 10, it's not the fancy things. It's, you know, just the normal stuff. Compressor's not right, your compressor's not working, you know. So that's why we always just go through the motions, check everything, and then you can move on to the more, you know, upper level type of stuff. But we can't get there until we know without a shadow of a doubt our system is functioning right. So this is not what I was expecting to find at all. So this is actually, you know, in the 80s. So we're just going to keep doing pressures right now and trying to find out. There's right there why you don't assume things, why you don't just run to the truth. Okay? We go up here and we look at, on this side of the EPR, which should be a higher pressure, whatever it is, right? We can see that that's 0 PSI, right? And on this side of the EPR, well, on this side of the suction filter, we got 95. This suction filter has a 93 pressure drop profit. So this suction filter is blocking our suction gas from, well, vapor to returning back to our compressor, and it's starving the whole system. So our system can't be pulled down because the suction filter is clogged. So that's why it's so important to check your pressures, go through the motions, because even though, you know, I really thought, you know, I was like, oh, power outage makes sense that it's the board, suction filter. So alright, so now what we're gonna do is, so this filter dryer is bad, okay? So now what we're gonna do, so we're gonna write up this filter dryer, this suction line filter dryer, okay? And we're actually gonna go into the ceiling. We're going to trace out the piping, and we're going to make sure it leads to only the cases that we're concerned with, and we're going to shut it all down. because, you know, this is an on-call job. I don't carry those filters on my truck. We're gonna have to order it up. And the problem is, if we leave this running, this is a vacuum right here. This is like 0. That's like 200. That is so hot to the touch. Like, I'm telling you, touch it, like my hand sizzled touching that compressor. That compressor is gonna be gone in like a day if this keeps up, no problem. Even like right here, you see this right here? This is a de-superheater right there. So that is actually de-superheating this gas, cooling it off. Desperately trying to get some cool gas to this compressor. None of it's making it to it. This compressor is so hot, it's like, it's so stinking hot, it's nuts. Now you can look at that 217 degrees. So I know, at least from dealing with some other propane compressors, the maximum head temperature is 225 for some of them it's up to 250. But so that being basically at maximum temperature for, you know, God knows how long, it's not going to be nothing that shuts this off. If we don't shut this off or resolve this issue today, that compressor is going to be toast more than likely. But yeah, so anyway, so that suction filter is no good, right? So I have to shut this down, because if we keep this running, that compressor is going to burn out. No good. I called the monitoring company. I had them tell me how this is set up, because I can't physically trace out the refrigeration piping. It's too high up. Even my 16-foot ladder wouldn't actually reach the ceiling. So there's no way I can actually manually trace it out. So what I did was I found that they do have walk-in cooler boxes here. Each walk-in cooler box has their own condenser on top of them in the building. So that means that one of those condensers controls one thing, the other controls another. So one of them seems to be for their low temp, the other one is for their medium temp. So anyway, so I found out that. So shutting it down for the weekend until we can get one of those filter dryers. You could, if you wanted to, you could break out your torches and straight pipe it and then come back. But they already lost all the product. They're not going to be able to get product replacement until the week anyway. So there's no point for us to charge them a ton of overtime to do that. And that way we can actually get the suction filter, the filter dryer, and come back and actually replace everything. Anyway, maybe you learned something about assumptions. Don't just assume. Go through your basics, take your pressures, follow the pipes, you know, go through whatever. But anyway, maybe you learned something, maybe not. Please like, subscribe. That's how you do it.